All right, so last time we talked about Charlie Kirk was, I think, was it Thursday last week? And at that point, or Wednesday was it?
Yeah.
The killer was still at large at that point. And the news broke in Britain right at the end of the working day on Friday, I believe, that they'd caught him. And so over the weekend, it's sort of been all in the news, hasn't it? Sort of all weekend long, and still in the news cycle today as well, of course. So we thought we'd cover it. So the guy is called Tyler Robinson. No relation to Harry Robinson, he's at pains to point out. Tyler Robinson, and there he is. So let's just have a quick few seconds of this video.
We got him.
The words that everyone has been waiting to hear. We are following.
Always a bit of a cliche, I think, now, after the Saddam thing.
Yep.
We got him, Dave. I don't know.
Following breaking news, this is the mugshot of the 22-year-old man who authorities say killed conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. Tyler Robinson is his name, and he was arrested overnight, roughly 3 hours south of where he allegedly fired that shot that killed Kirk in front of thousands of people as he was speaking at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah as part of a college tour. I'll tell you how Robinson's family knew that they were living with the person now accused of a horrifying assassination. This is a break.
Okay. So, one of the first things is he's very young, he's 22. On that podcast on Wednesday with Dan and Carl, I did say that my immediate reaction when there was that middle-aged or even older gentleman that they first got at the scene within moments, I remember saying, it doesn't ring true. It's not impossible. It's not entirely unheard of for political assassins to be older, but it's actually really quite rare. And in this case, he's very, very young, 22. I mean, you don't really know what you're doing. You don't really have a proper grasp on things when you're 22. Or usually you don't. I didn't. Sometimes you get people, sometimes you get an extremely young physicist or a poet or something that's in their early 20s. But most of the time, you still don't really know what you think about things properly when you're 22. You haven't really lived much for life yet, have you, when you're 22? Sure. Like I was saying in the office earlier, that Princip, the murderer in Sarajevo in 1914, he was 19. Right? It's actually much, 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 much easier to radicalise someone who's very young.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's nearly always the way it goes.
Yeah.
They're very prone to emotional manipulation. The younger one is, the more prone they are to.
And to moral certainty in a particular way.
Yeah. And more prone to violence. A lot of violent crime will be younger people.
Yes.
It will be young men, nearly always.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, even in the army, an infantryman, they don't really want you when you're in your 40s to be a rifleman.
Not really.
They prefer it if you're 20.
Unless you're in Ukraine.
Right, yeah. Okay, so what's been in some of the news over the last few days? I've seen a few different places say that he's not cooperating with the authorities. I did see one article saying he is. Most of them seem to say he's not cooperating. But he did at least, it seems, sort of allow himself to be turned in. So some of the details of that. It seems like his parents, his own father, saw the images that the FBI had released and realised, oh, that's my son. So now there's the dilemma, of turning in your own son, because there is the death penalty in Utah, and they have said already, the authorities have said they'll be pushing for a death penalty should he be convicted. And so,
really, the father's behavior and honor and civic duty is the only reason for clemency here. Is the only possible reason for clemency. Not the man himself, not the shooter himself. It's incredible that you see this willingness on the part of a parent, and you can imagine how difficult it must be for his father. We should genuinely pray for his father. We should genuinely wish his father well, because he did something extremely brave, which wouldn't happen in a lot of societies, in most societies, I would argue. It shows what a thoroughly decent human being he is. And it makes it more heartbreaking for him that his son would do something like that his son would be brainwashed to this extent.
Yeah.
You do everything that you can as a father to make sure that your children turn out okay. And the thought that it wouldn't happen is something that really worries you and keeps you up at night. It's a scary thought. And that he would go so wrong.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a debate in the office on Friday afternoon about that. Would you turn your own child in, knowing that they'll probably get the death penalty? I think it's easy for me to sit here and say this, but I think it is the morally right thing to do. I mean, when we look at, say, the families of the grooming gangs that don't turn their, we condemn them. Yep. Saying that's wrong and that's disgusting.
It's obviously the morally right thing to do. The question, the only comment is about the difficulty of it.
Yeah, it must have been very, very difficult. Yeah. So the details are a little bit sketchy still, and one or two different places seem to have a slightly different spin on exactly how that went down. But from what I can gather, from what I've read, it seems like it went something like his father confronted him, saying, "Look, it's you, right? I can see it's you. It's obviously you." And something along the lines of he either explicitly or implicitly confirmed that it was him. Right. Then he went to a family friend, or some accounts are saying it was like the local priest or pastor or holy man of some type in their community. I think they were
Mormons.
I think they're Mormons, yeah. We'll get onto sort of the conservative nature of the household in a moment. He went to some sort of other third party, and they informed the police or the FBI, and they went round and they got him, and there was no sort of
struggle.
There was no struggle.
Yes.
He didn't commit suicide or anything like that. So that seems like that's how it went down. So the next thing, one of the next things to say is about sort of the household. Apparently he was joking on Discord, making various jokes about it. I've got an article here, if you're only listening to this, that he'd said it was his doppelganger did it. People are saying that he was raised, or it seems that it is the case, that he was raised in a conservative household, conservative with a small c, Mormon, so Christian, Church of the Latter-day Saints, isn't it, their formal name? Not unsurprising in Utah. And so the first thing that the mainstream media or the left seem to be sort of deliberately, it seems to me, deliberately confusing the issue is that that's it. That's all there is to the story, that he was a conservative who did this, and there you go. So it's not one of ours, the left. It's not one of ours. It's one of yours. It's your fault. It's a right-wing killer. It's a right-wing murderer. I
found that disgusting entirely, because it is the character of the far left to never take the responsibility about everything. And they mentioned all sorts of influences on him, but never mentioned the radicalization he has received by most probably universities and definitely online spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's a tweet from Billy Baldwin, incredibly insightful political analyst Billy Baldwin. Yeah, the razor sharp insight of Billy Baldwin. He's saying he's not black, he's not trans, he's not Muslim, not a migrant, not a Democrat. Brilliant, Billy. Thanks for that.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, brilliant. Well done. At the Telegraph, saying the Charlie Kirk suspect spoke the language of the far right. Oh, did he? Did he, though? So what it seems to be, if you just scratch the surface of this thing, is that, he was raised in a conservative Mormon household, but then he went to university. He got a full scholarship, it seems. It seems like he was actually very bright academically.
Yes.
Which just goes to show you can be very bright academically and still a psychopath and completely wrong-headed. I mean, look at somebody like Lenin. There's lots of very, quote-unquote, bright, but entirely wrong-headed...
He wasn't stupid.
People. Right, yeah.
He wasn't stupid.
He wasn't stupid. But there you go. So, it seems like he went to university, and got radicalized. And then now sometimes when people are raised in a certain way, whether it's conservative or not conservative, sometimes you sort of carry that on through your whole life, and it's so deeply ingrained in your character and personality that you just go with that throughout your whole life to the grave, and you pass that on to your children. Often though, especially when you're in your teens or your early 20s, it can be the case, very, very often, isn't it? That you rebel against that. You do a 180. What a cliche it is to go to university and suddenly you're the opposite of what of what mummy and daddy always wanted for you. So it seems like something like that went on. He went to university, I think, for only one semester, or certainly less than 1 year. And the reports are coming out that he was in a relationship with a man.
Yep.
So he was gay. Would have thought that mummy and daddy back home wouldn't have approved of that.
Not in the least.
And if they were conservative, he's gone sort of full lefty, full Antifa.
Yep. My understanding is that he was also living in the university, not just at home. And so he was basically immersed in this atmosphere that you often find, unfortunately, in the academy, which has been largely captured by the left.
It was also the case that he had anti-fascist slogans on his bullets and the bullet cases. And now, just let me very quickly say is that in the minds of the left, and especially the non-particularly articulate left, I'm thinking of Joe Biden, he was saying it's all the same thing. Islamophobia, transphobia, homophobia, it's all the same thing.
Yes.
Climate justice, climate injustice, it's all the same thing. So it's really academia to a very large extent. It's completely brainwashing people, young people, and it's trying to make them trying to create narcissists.
That's a very important point, because the ideology of intersectionality, tying together all of these supposedly oppressed groups along with the eschatology of the climate crisis, alleged climate crisis, it means that if you compromise on one, you have to compromise on the others. So there is this weird omerta between these different groups, that if you admit to one truth and therefore break up the alliance, we are going to start shaming you as well.
Yeah.
And so they must stick together. And the result of them being so relentlessly married to lies is that they must be violent, because at some point it's the only way to defend lies.
Yeah. Just on the point of the finding writings or engravings on the casings in the bullets, apparently they said things like, "Hey fascist, catch."
Yeah. Also the Bella Ciao song.
Bella Ciao, they're the Italian anti-fascist. Sorry. If you read this, you are gay, Lamau.
Basically,
it's very 22-year-old, isn't it?
Yeah, he was. One guy explained it as this being some kind of shitpost, but in the form of a murder, whereby you end up with these people that can't take anything seriously but are married to insane lies, and this is for them, this is funny. For them, killing us is funny. That's an important point here.
And there is also the other bit that there are some people who are psychopaths.
Yes.
And they can hide their psychopathy under a guise of legitimacy with the victimhood narratives that are communicated in academia, and Obama and Hillary turned mainstream for the last 10 years.
Yes, correct.
So there's this thing, some are still saying that it might all be sort of a 4D chess red herring, and in fact it was still something else going on. I think it's pretty clear at this point, relatively clear at this point, that it is just straight up this guy with anti-fascist and trans ideology going on through his head. Now, the thing of going to university, I mean, I had it myself, but in my form it was being really highbrow about ancient history. But you go to university, you don't really have much of a personality yet when you're 19 or 20. You've only ever lived at home. You go there, you're away from home, you live at university in halls or whatever. You're completely allowed to do whatever you want, express yourself in whatever way you want. And you fall into... You make the university and your course and your friends at university your whole life. You haven't really got actually much other choice. And so, as I say, in my case, it was like falling in with public school kids that did classics. In his case, it seems like he fell in with anti-fascist trans types.
We should call them
And so-
communists. We shouldn't
communists,
call them anti-fascists.
Okay,
We should
fine.
just call them
Yeah, no,
communists.
good point. Absolutely. Yeah, hardline communists. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And so it seems that over a matter of weeks or a few short months, went from being just like a conservative Mormon kid to a highly radicalized communist.
This is a problem with some very intelligent people, that they think themselves so much smarter than everybody else around them.
You'd have to be convinced before you pulled a trigger.
You're
Absolutely
describing
convinced.
you're describing academia, especially to a T.
Yes, but then they discover one particular truth or whatever, and they can't pause and stop because their mind races ahead of them and leads them to extremism. It is a problem with some very high verbal IQ people.
I noticed the case with me when I was very young.
Yeah.
When I was 17 or 18 or 19. I thought I knew everything. I thought I'd done enough reading. I knew enough about the world. I've got all the answers.
Yep.
Sort of thing. I remember thinking that. And I remember not that many years later, in my mid-20s or late 20s, looking back at myself just a few years earlier, being, oh, wow, I was so wrong. I was so wrong about that. Oh, my God, I'm glad that none of that led me to do anything crazy.
Yes.
Well, it didn't, right? It led me to just like read Tacitus.
Somebody
right? So it was,
said-
Yeah, I was going to say Tacitus what radicalized me? Tacitus.
right, yeah. But if it leads you to get a rifle and shoot someone like Charlie Kirk, because
Yes.
he's an evil demon Nazi that needs to be dead now, terrible thing. But it looks like that's what happened. I mean, I did watch one very interesting video, a little bit of armchair psychology, but the video I watched was of a professional retired FBI sort of psychological profiler type.
Right.
And he was saying that what this sort of thing often is, probably will turn out to be the case with Tyler Robinson, is just sort of a massive sense of insecurity and inadequacy. That Charlie Kirk is everything he isn't. Charlie Kirk's like got all his ducks in a row, got everything squared away, knows who he is absolutely to the point where he can debate the whole world.
Yep.
And this guy is just a mess of nothing. He's just he's all over the place.
Look, you
It's
can see
absolutely
by
all
the
over the place.
fact-
1 minute I'm a conservative Mormon, the next minute I'm a massively pro-trans communist. Like he's all over the place, right? So
I think what confirms that to some extent is the fact that his immediate reaction after murdering Kirk was to run to daddy. He didn't run.
But also
into
gloat
the
on
woods.
social media.
So seek affirmation
Yeah.
from social media, but also run to daddy. So you could see that this is obviously they took him into the universities and it made him insane. And I'm sure there are some personality traits within him that helped. Probably very high verbal capacity. Obviously, he had a 4.0 GPA, which is like 100%. Obviously, very brilliant. And they destroyed his life with their ideology.
yeah,
I'm sure he was prone to it. I'm not taking away responsibility from him. But I am saying that the fact that the academy is captured by these insane extremists is a real problem. And this is an opportunity for Donald Trump to purge the universities, to properly purge them.
no, I agree with both your points. That it melted his mind. It seems like he
Yes.
went to university and it warped him
Yes.
real quick.
Yeah.
To maxed out to 11.
Yeah.
But yeah, also at the same point, not taking responsibility for it. That's another thing that the very interesting FBI profiler said, is that probably it was a slippery slope. He didn't go from absolutely peaceful to prepared to shoot someone.
Yes.
There would have been an escalation, almost certainly. It's the way it nearly always goes.
Yes.
Until you do something as drastic as that. Okay, so one of the last things to just mention for this segment is some of the gaslighting and the sort of fairly disgusting celebrations and things that have gone on over the weekend or since the event. Not just people celebrating it, but people just also playing interference on behalf of the left and the shooter. I mean, here's an article from John Sopel, one of the most disgusting fifth columnists you will ever come across. He's writing here, Trump's reaction to Charlie Kirk's assassination shows all his worst traits. No, it doesn't. Shut up, John. Disgusting. But there's loads, not just the TikTokers sort of literally dancing around and gloating, smugly gloating, but people like, I mean, Ilhan Omar went on Mehdi Hassan, and they're both sort of just short of whooping it up. Yep. Classic Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker's been in the news, all that sort of thing. That hijabi woman off of Bake Off.
Yes.
Playing defence, playing interference. Alistair Campbell got in a bit of trouble just saying things that weren't true about Charlie Kirk, that he'd advocated for the stoning of gay people. Just wrong. All the usual suspects. The list is actually extremely long of those that are not only gloating, but sort of trying to play some sort of intellectual interference on behalf of the killer.
Yes.
And it's just very revealing, isn't it? It's another one of those things, like the flag thing, or like the killing of that poor Ukrainian girl. Those that just have a normal human response, and those that have like a sort of a murderous, devious response. It's just very revealing.
I mean, this is something I'm going to talk about on in an hour, on a couple of hours on Realpolitik. The dissociation from reality and the hatred of the normal. The extent to which they hate normal human impulses, like preferring your family over strangers, like preferring your country over foreign countries, like preferring your religion over alien faiths. The most basic elements of humanity are all treated with insane hostility by the left. No wonder they turn crazy.
It requires you to be a bit crazy to go along with it and buy it.
It makes you crazier the more you go along with it.
Right.
We all have a bit of crazy in us. We all have bad things in us. We're all afflicted somehow. But it makes you much worse to believe these people. It makes you a much worse human being. And you see this kind of interference. No, nothing should be done about the radicalization of the universities. The fact that 98% or 99% of all professors are far left, that shouldn't be addressed. Why? Why isn't this a problem?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so that's my time up. But just to finish it off saying, at least they got him. It's not really much of a mercy, is it? But there you go. It's sort of better than it being a mystery forever who did it. So there you go, Tyler Robinson.
Who are the men that pick for scraps amongst the ruins at the end of history? You should know, because you encounter them every day. Between the towering buildings of a fallen empire, we find the Fellahin, the historyless men, who know nothing of the turning of the cosmic wheel and find themselves outside of civilization itself. Cut loose from the great chain of being, they represent the loam into which our dying culture will return. That is, unless we choose to take up the burden once again. This Fellahin condition is the subject we explore in issue 4 of Islander magazine, on sale while stocks last and available worldwide at shop.lotusseaters.com.